Hi Flosstube, welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I am here for my 2024 wrap-up video. Everything that I've worked on in 2024, some finishes in there, some new starts towards the end, and all of the WIPs that I'm taking into 2025. Today is Tuesday, December 31st, 2024. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you get a chance to celebrate however you want to do that. I'm planning on playing a board game with my husband and then going to sleep shortly after midnight. So I know for a lot of people, if you're checking out a new Flosstuber or somebody who's new to you, the WIP parade or the wrap-up video is a chance to get to know that person. So I'm going to share a little bit about myself and then I will just get into my cross-stitch projects. So as I said, my name is Anna. I'm 35 years old. I'm turning 36 in January. I am married. We have one child. His name is Ethan. He's not quite 2.5 years old, and I've been trying to share more about him on this channel. So thank you for indulging me, letting me talk about the adventure of becoming a parent and figuring everything out. Not that I have everything figured out, just learning a lot as we go. For my job, I'm licensed as an attorney, but I'm not practicing law. I work for a bar review company, so people who want to become attorneys have to pass the bar exam. I work for a company that prepares a course so that students can get ready to take the exam. So I've been doing that for 10 years now, and I work remotely full-time, so I work out of this room in my basement of my house, and Flosstube has given me a chance to sort of interact with people in a way that I don't really have a chance to do anymore. We used to have a physical office here in the Denver area, but there were just a few of us who worked there, and that closed down during COVID, so I've been fully remote for a while now. What else to say? I am also interested in gardening and hiking and cooking and birding and organizing my house. I think that organizing your things is just a way of life for me. It's just, you gotta police your own belongings and keep everything tidy, but my husband thinks of it as more of a hobby. I'll target like the junk drawer and I'll take everything out and I'll organize it and put it back in, and he sees that as more of a pastime, and I see it as like a way to make life easier. But anyway, I am also into cross-stitching. So I started cross-stitching in 2018 and I started a Flosstube channel in 2019. So it's been really great to share this craft with anybody who's interested. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to go ahead and get started going through my WIPs or my works in progress or anything I worked on in 2024. So I'm going to go in chronological order based on how old the project is. So that's why there will be some finishes sort of mixed in. So my oldest project is from 2019. I actually have several from 2019 because I started a lot of things that year. So this is my only full coverage right now. It is a mini from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's called Mini Bird Song. And let's see, which side should I do this one on? I guess I'll do them on this side this time. So this is where we're at. My goal for this year was to finish one 20 wide diagonal, and I did that. And I also came up and started the next one, and I filled in some more of this blue up here. So I'm really happy with that progress. In this video, I'm also going to talk about my goals for each project for next year. I don't want to set too ambitious goals because I want to meet them, but just something that when I decide to pull it out, I don't have to decide what to work on. I already have like a plan for what I want to get done. So this is on 18 count Aida using 2 strands of floss. I like the coverage, and because it's a mini, the whole project is not huge the way that some Heaven and Earth designs are, but I think that when I start my next full coverage project, I will go with a smaller count fabric and try that. So my goal for this one in 2025 is to finish this diagonal, which is right around the halfway point now, and then stitch another 20 wide diagonal. And if I get a chance, maybe fill in more sky because this whole section is mostly sky here. So that is Mini Birdsong. Next is the Spirit of Christmas. I just showed this yesterday in my December update video. Here's a little photo that comes with it. It's by Lavender and Lace. And, you know, I'm gonna go grab my board for this. Okay, so next was Spirit of Christmas by Lavender and Lace. And this is where I got to. So if you watched my video from yesterday, you would have seen my progress in December, but I also worked on this in July, so there should be quite a big difference between the start of the year and this. Okay, this is on 32 count. I believe it's Blue Moon Linen by Witchy. And yeah, it's beautiful. I really love Lavender and Lace. Just does such a good job with the colors, making that ribbon look shiny with the blends and the way that the colors come in and out. It's just beautiful, and I'd really like to see this on my wall for Christmas. Not next year, as I said, there's a lot to go, but maybe the next couple years. So I haven't set a firm goal for this one. I think what I want to do is work down, here we go. I think I want to do the sleeve and finish the greenery. I think that would be my goal for next year. It is more ambitious than my goal for this year, which was just to finish his hat and do some of the greenery. But I want to put more time into my oldest WIPs, works in progress, if I didn't say that already. Just because I still have 6 that I started in 2019, and so I just would like to see more forward progress with those. Next is the Horn of Plenty, which is from Just Cross Stitch magazine. Let's see. It's from this magazine. It's the September-October 2012 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. I'm stitching the front there. And then I also just showed this one yesterday in my December update. But there should be a good difference between the start of the year and where I got to here. This is stitched on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. This is another one that I don't think I can finish next year, but I would like to put in a lot more progress. For my goals for this, I'd like to finish backstitching the center part, which is really just the wheat and then these like flowers, and then there's a few missing things through here, but the rest of this is all backstitched already. So I'd like to backstitch all of the middle, and I would like to finish one whole side of border, which is a lot. It's a lot of stitching, a lot of backstitching in the border especially. Let's see if I can, I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but it's very busy, the border. It's mostly these leaves, which have a lot of backstitching in them. Here's one that's finished. So that's my goal, and because it's from 2019, it has a slightly bigger goal than some of my other ones. Next on the list is Birds and Berries, which was actually a finish for me in 2024. Okay, Birds and Berries by Prairie Schooler. This one was a finish, so it was in another bag I had to go and get. But this year I did the Cardinal. And so now this is officially off my WIP list because the Cardinal was the last one. I had previously stitched the other ones, the Chickadee, the Red-winged Blackbird, and the Blue Jay. So now all 4 of these are done, and I did order a frame off of Etsy, so I'll show that to you now. This is the frame that I got. It's from this, let's see if I can show you. It's from this shop on Etsy. And you could get different sizes of openings, and you could get different layouts. So you could get them like 4 across, or I ordered this square. And looking at it, it looks kind of small, so we'll see if it works, but I might have to do a size bigger. We'll see. I will do a little bit more measuring, but this is the concept, and if I have to go a bit bigger, then I'll do that. So that was my first finish in 2024, was that Birds and Berries by Prairie Schooler. All right, next I have the Halloween banner sampler. It's also from this magazine. I'm cutting off one end of it. I will show you. So this is what it looks like. I'm cutting off this part, basically. So I'll show you my progress on this. So this is where this one is at. This is on 32 count jewel by Picture This Plus. And my goal this year was to finish the pumpkins. I can't remember if I needed to finish both or just the little one, but I wanted to finish the pumpkins and I wanted to close up the border. So my goal for this one in 2025 is to finish it. It's one of my smallest projects and it's pretty far along. So I just have the ghost and I need to resolve how I want to do this final edge of this border. And then I thought about maybe doing some bats or something in here. So we'll just have to see how far we get. Maybe it will be perfectly fine without the bats. So that was Halloween banner sampler. Next on my list is an out of print chart called Professor Frisbee's Wee Beasties. This is the dragonfly. This is a common green darner. That's what it says down there. So here's where this one is at. You can kind of see that the wing is very sparkly. I have started the other wings also, but you can't see them because they're basically clear with a little bit of sparkle. So I met my goal on this one, which was to finish the wing and the body and start another wing. So I did all of that. It looks a little rough at the top because it needs backstitch to really connect the legs. Because these legs right now are just a bunch of fractional stitches kind of disconnected, but there's more wing underneath there and around there, so I can't backstitch until I put the wing in. My goal for this one is to finish 2 wings. We'll see whether that goal is met, but this is also a project from 2019, so I want to see good progress on it, even if finishing it is not realistic. This fabric, I can't remember the name of it. I do think that it was mislabeled or I wrote it down wrong or something because I have 2 different fabrics and this one is much whiter than the other one. I think it's supposed to be flax, but it does not look like flax to me. So that was the Wee Beasties chart. That's what I call it, or the dragonfly. Next on the list is another one you saw yesterday. It's my Blackbird square by Peppermint Purple. Where is it? There we go. This is my last project for 2019, and so I also have ambitious plans for this one. I don't want to stress myself out with my plans, so they're not too challenging, but I also want to see progress on these ones from 2019, so they have bigger goals. This one, I would like to finish half of it. We'll see. We'll see whether that happens. This is on an Aida, and it's, I don't remember the count. It might be 16 or 18. It might be 14. I don't know. But it's in the color forest green. So I like the black work. It's fun and different. And I'm going to add more beads, or add some beads in there too at some point. So that is the end of my 2019 projects. Then in 2020, the WIPs that I still have going from that year, first is Millennium by Teresa Winsler. Let's see. This is the cover photo. This one I have not worked on in a long time, so I will probably leave it out for January, since that's when I have historically stitched it. It was a new year, new start. And this is one where when I do stitch on it, I really try to think about my place in the universe and how small it is and how beautiful nature and the world are and how we should take care of it. I still try to do that. So here's where I got to. I believe my goal for this one was to stitch a planet and finish the archway. Not finish, but get all the way across. And so I met that goal. And I did quite a bit more sky. So you can see there's going to be a shooting star here over one. This is on 28 count. I think it's Tombstone. I need to check these things. And there's a lot, it's a Teresa Winsler, so there's a lot of fractionals in the archway, and then the planets are all 1/1 stitching. I use my phone, it's not the most sophisticated recording device. But yeah, it makes them really detailed. And the rest is 2/2. So my goal for this one is to finish, I think, the moon, which is a big 1/1 section. And then I also want to keep working from like this top right corner sort of down and over. So those are kind of loose goals. This is a 2020 project. So it's not as big of a focus, but still good focus. This one, I also laugh about this because that year, 2020, when I started this project, I was talking about this project and what I wanted to reflect on, and I expressed a lot of optimism about the year to come. And then like 2 months later, we had the lockdown for the pandemic. So I laugh at myself and I laugh at the universe when I pull this one out and think about that time that we all had together. So it's Millennium by Teresa Winsler. And that is the first basket. So I'm going to pause and go get the other one. Okay, also from 2020, I'm still working on Spring Quakers by Rosewood Manor. I'm doing this in all of the called for threads and the fabric. I actually found it entirely kitted up at an estate sale, so it was ready to go, and I've been really enjoying it. I believe my goal this year for this one was just one motif, or maybe two. Point is, I surpassed that and I got several, so I'm really happy with that progress. So this is where it's at. It's 28 count Cashel by Picture This Plus in the color of Valor. And it's the Valdani thread pack. So my goal for 2025 on this one is to do 3 more motifs. I'm not sure which 3. This one looks a little, oh, you can't see it, there we go. This one looks a little dense, but maybe this one and maybe these 2 little ones, or maybe I'll come back over here. I don't know. I'm thinking this one for sure. Right over here. And then 2 others, hopefully. So next, from 2021, my only WIP from that year is the 12 Days of Christmas. This is Jim Shore and Mill Hill. There are a lot of beads in this pattern. My goal for this one was to resolve the borders and finish the 5 gold rings. So I did that. This is still in the Hue Snap. This is where it's at. So there are no beads here, but all of the stitching is finished, and you can see the border is pretty subtle. It's in person you can kind of see it a bit better, but I wanted it to be, I wanted it to blend in with the fabric and just give like the hint of a border around these different things. So I still need to rip out this border. It's something I tried and didn't like, and then I counted this section and this section off of that, so I need to rip all that out. My goal for 2025 is to take this out and then stitch all of 2 turtle doves, which is right above the 5 gold rings. It's this one. This one is on a 32 count opalescent. I think it's raw Belfast. Okay, sorry if the cuts are a little choppy. I have a cough that I just can't kick, and I had to pause it and get a drink of water. I had been to urgent care and I did get medicine for it, and they said it just could take a few weeks to clear up. So I feel fine. I just get this cough every now and then. So now we're into WIPs from 2022. This first one is, I believe it was another January start, and it's called White Owl. It's a Reolist kit, and this is where I got to. I subbed out, it comes with oatmeal Ada, and I subbed it out for this navy. I think it's navy. And yeah, for this one, the last time I worked on it, I decided to use Sarah's The Stitching Mummy's method of going to the top and choosing symbols across the top. So when I pull this out again, I will start with this topmost symbol and work that in wherever it goes, and we'll see how much progress I can make. For this one, I don't have a specific goal. I think my goal is going to be any progress on it. Maybe next year I can think about like, okay, I want to finish like down to this row of 10 by 10 or something, but since it's a relatively new WIP, I mean, relatively, my goal is just to get some progress on it next year, and I will probably work on this in January since it was a January start and it's seasonal for January. So Snowy Owl. My next project from 2022 is Salute to Abigail. This is a Blackbird design. It's from this booklet, Sweet Land of Liberty, and it's this one at the top. Okay. This is where I got to on this one. I finished this center vase with all these flowers. I started this bird, and then I started the border. So I think my goal for 2025 is to finish the border across the entire bottom and like turn up on both sides. So I think that's what I'm going to focus on in 2025. Did I say 2024? 2025. That'll be my goal, is to get all the way across the border on this one. I did change out the fabric and the threads. The called for ones were just a little muted, and I wanted something bright and fresh for 4th of July. So that's Salute to Abigail. Just seeing this one makes me want to stitch it some more. It's a lot of fun, especially with the variegated threads that I'm using. Okay, and then also from 2022 was The Squirrel by Mariska, which I finished and framed. I had this ready to display this year in November for Thanksgiving, and now it's hanging on the wall in my son's bedroom. It's across from the rabbit, which I already completed. And one of the things I want to start in 2025 is the pheasant. I kept thinking phoenix, and it's not on theme. The pheasant, mostly because it has a lot of pretty blue in it, versus these two are pretty brown. So I really like these kits. I subbed out the fabric. It's just like a neutral linen, 32 count. I can't remember the color right now, but yeah, he's so cute, and it goes pretty quickly. So that was the end of my 2022 projects that I took into 2024. I have one project from 2023, and that is my Snowman Stocking, which I also just showed yesterday. It's a Dimensions kit called Snowman Gathering Stocking. This Ada is really stiff. Oh, okay. So that is where I got to. I'm doing this one around the outside. I understand that when it comes over here, it might be off by one, but I will figure that out if we're off a little bit, and I will just fudge it, but it's going really well so far. My goal for next year is to make it all the way around the stocking, and then to go around again, completing just the outermost square, they're all partial squares, and some of them are already done. So we're gonna make it all the way around, and we're gonna try to go around again next year. It might be a lot since it's taken me this long to get this far, but I do want to have this finished at some point for Ethan to use as an actual stocking. So yeah, this one's fun. It's also really fun to bounce around and do like one of my 1/1 sections or projects, and then come and do this, 3 strands of half stitch on this big Ada. That's refreshing. I'm still going to keep stitching on this when it snows, just as a reason to pull it out. And yeah, we'll see how far we get next year. Okay, so now we are into things I started in 2024. The first one was a small from, I didn't pull out the pattern, but it's called Suzie Zoo, and it's a Leisure Arts leaflet, I believe. And I actually can't remember which of these I stitched this year, but I have 2 finished. I think I stitched this one. I've got 2 finished. This year, I don't count these as ongoing WIPs. I count this as a finish because I'm not going to stitch everything from the leaflet, but it is fun to start these like small things. And I have a variety of frames that I can put them in. They're a mix of metals. And so this year I would like to stitch another one of these, and I would like to get all 3 framed and up. So I might actually start the next one in January so that it can be up by February. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Also in 2024, I started a Mill Hill kit. It is Tulip Egg, and I'll just hold it up here. So I finished it. I'll pull it out. Yeah, so it's entirely beaded. It's on perforated paper. And the year before that, I had done the daffodil egg. So to FFO this, I just need to put them back to back and like stitch them together, basically. So I would like to do that this year. But this is the one that I started and finished in 2024. Okay, next in 2024, I started No Bees, No Honey. It is, who is it by? Birds of a Feather is what it is. Let's see. No Bees, No Honey. I won this in a giveaway from Kathy, the Crafty Cat Stitcher. And when I finish this, I plan to give it away here on my channel. So I changed out the fabric and the colors for this one. I just wanted it to be a little brighter. And it video and photos never capture the warm quality of this blue. It always looks really gray. Let's see, where's my board? It is a really nice bright blue in person. Almost has like a yellow in spots. See, that's good. That's good. Then it's gonna get gray if I come closer. Yeah, so for a 2024 start, this is pretty good progress. It is a smaller pattern. I would like to finish this in 2025. We'll see. I'm gonna take it on a work trip in January, so I might actually get it finished. But it says, no bees, no honey, no work, no money. I'd like to get this on my wall in my office, in this room here. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I did keep the, I think it's Gentle Arts for the browns around the outside. Yeah, it is the Gentle Art sampler threads. That was No Bees, No Honey. Also in 2024, I started what I'm calling Spooky Cat. Let's see. This was one that I wanted to start and finish in October. It ended up being a little bigger than that, but I am happy with my progress on this one. I don't think I have, let me see. I do have the magazine in here, so let me pull it out real quick. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is how far I got. So yeah, I love him. It's really cute. It's from this Just Cross Stitch magazine from October 2021. It looks like this on the cover. You can see there's some other stuff in here that I'd like to stitch, but I went ahead and started with that Spooky Cat. Is there anything else in here? Yeah, we'll see what else I stitch out of this one. Okay, and then my last project that I'm taking into 2024 was a Long Dog sampler that I decided to start. I kitted it up to be a new year, new start, and then I just wanted to test the threads. I'm like, well, if I'm going to test them, I should just start it. And so I started it. It's still in the hoop. I just showed it yesterday. This is where I got to. So this is on a 25 count Dublin linen. And I'm stitching it 1/1 with 3 different colors of floss. I believe I have 2 Gentle Arts and 1 Weeks Dye Works. Let me pull them out real quick. Yeah, so I have Gentle Arts, Green with Envy, Pecan Pie, and Weeks Dye Works Cypress are the 3 colors that I'm using on this brown fabric. And this green is really bright, which is great. It's just, it doesn't look like these really bright sections come out really bright. My goal for this one is to stitch page 1, which is, it's this wide. However, I think I'll probably, if a motif like starts on page 1, I'll probably stitch the whole thing, even if it like goes over onto page 2, because I don't really stitch page by page. And I want the colors to sort of flow as naturally as they can. So part of my motivation for trying 25 count 1/1 is that I'd like to try a full coverage project 1/1. I have those 1/1 sections in Millennium on 28 count, and I can do them. They're just really small, and I like going back to 2/2 when I get a chance. So I'm glad I got to start this, and I am enjoying it so far. Makes me more confident I could do a full coverage on 25 count. So those are all of my WIPs. I forgot to say this in the beginning, but I started 2024 with 14 WIPs. My goal was to end it with 13. I abandoned that. I've been doing a good job of keeping my new starts down. And so I ended up starting 5 projects. I finished 4 throughout the year. So I'm ending 2024 with 15 WIPs. And my goal for next year is to keep it at 15 WIPs. And I also have, I was playing around with the idea of having another goal that if I finish a project, I can start something new that is that size or maybe smaller. But I was looking at the things I'm trying to finish this year, and they're all my 3 smallest. My 3 smallest projects are the 3 things I want to try to finish. So I'm not sure I'll hold myself to that. I might be starting some medium or large size things. We'll see. Yeah, it's really just a matter of what I feel like stitching next. I know I'm going to stitch that Suzie Zoo. I know I want to start another Marishka kit. So we'll just see what happens. Again, I hope everybody has a happy new year and that you get a lot of time in 2025 to work on your craft and work on yourself, and whatever hobbies you're into, I hope you take time for yourself and that you make that a priority. I know that's something I'm going to try to do, is I'm trying to think about exercise as like food and sleeping, like eating and sleeping. And it's just a part of, it's not self-care, it's self-survival. I'm trying to get into the mindset of exercise being that, and then having my hobbies and my interests be more of the self-care and also do more of that. So I hope that makes sense to some people out there. Okay, I had another little coughing break. It's time for me to stop talking and get off. I'm gonna edit this video, hopefully get it posted tonight, maybe tomorrow, January 1st. Thank you for joining me. Happy stitching and Happy New Year. Bye.